What's up, everybody? How are you all doing today? Whoop, 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 whoop. Let's get this started right. Oh God,
that
there we go.
There it works. That works, I guess.
No, that doesn't work. Oh my God, there we go. How's everybody doing today? Oh my God. Once again, I just got to say, this guy right here, Joost, you know. So glad to have you back on the show. I know it's been a while since we had you on. I know you guys, you and Anthony just did a wonderful stream last week, and I was kind of like, it's been a while. Let's get you back on the show and talk about, new updates on the stuff that you have coming out. I know everybody's excited for the Batmobile and, well, the Batmobiles, I should say. And, it's just great to have you here. And when I saw that wonderful footage, I just had to go ahead and make a little hype video and just, bring you in and just, have you talk to the people and just let them know everything that's going on. How are you doing, sir? I'm rambling.
I'm very good. And can I keep that hype video? That looked awesome, man. I really love that. That was cool.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Appreciate the work you put in there. Yeah. Well, I'm doing great. Like I said with Anthony, I love doing these streams, and especially now that I got my own man cave.
Yes.
It's awesome.
It's all good.
It looks good. I'm gonna full screen you real quick. Just look at how beautiful that is. Oh my goodness. Just oh my God. At first, when I first saw it on Anthony's stream, I was like, oh, that's probably like a background shot. He took it to the office and put it in. No, you're actually in. That's the studio. That's the showroom. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's the showroom, right? Yeah, still work in progress. We're now assembling all the drawers that need to go underneath, and then this big center thing. And thanks to D&D Collectibles, I think from Pittsburgh, I got my #1 diorama back, so that's gonna go there.
Nice.
And then the new True Skill Death Star starts shipping next week. I need to find a place for that. So we're still expanding on it. And of course, we've got the 1989 Batmobile prototype. I've put in a couple of pictures in the folder that you can show the people.
Absolutely.
And just answer any questions you might have.
Absolutely. Good to have you here. Also good to have you all here watching. Thank you so much. Like Bob Dylan, exactly. Joost is one of those. Collection is fire, and Joost is definitely one of us. One of us. Definitely Eric Walker, definitely Joost. Absolutely. Well, it's good you were able to, get some, find some of your stuff out there that you sold off and was able to get it back and pull it back into the collection. That's crazy.
Yeah. I could never keep that. I didn't have the space, I didn't have the money back then, but now to be able to get most of that back, that is cool. I'm very excited to get that, the Princess Leia R2-D2 hallway back. From a customer named Joe that's on its way back. Nice. So and then set that up with a real nice red light behind it, just like that actual scene, and get those figures in there. It's cool.
That's awesome. Very cool. Anthony, how are you doing down there, buddy? How you been?
I am doing great, man. It's always fun, man, hanging out with you and Joost. And yeah, man, there's lots of stuff I'm waiting for. Where's that Batmobile?
Yeah.
It's coming. No,
It's
I just want that 89, man. I'm like salivating for it.
oh my God. I think we all are. We are all waiting for that 89, and it's just going to be amazing when it comes out. And I know you have some pictures with us. And Yost, definitely like, so I know a lot of us that are paying for it, and we got the notification. We got our monthly newsletter from Jazz Inc. about it actually arriving in shipments, not the 89, but the Batman Batmobile, the
2022.
Patterson
Yeah.
Batmobile, the 2022. How is that? Like,
Yes.
how is that going? Can you tell us more information about that? Just to the people
Yeah.
that may have not, seen the email or just now
Yeah. Well,
tuning in.
and there's a couple exciting things about that. So first of all, for the clean, I would say in sometime next week, everything will be done. So we're ahead of schedule on the cleans. We're gonna be able to ship that to everyone who has paid it off. And so we normally do this in batches, but for this one, we were able to do it basically in two batches. The first one is shipped out. The second one for all the cleans is going out before Christmas to everybody who's paid it off.
Yeah.
And then the weather is going to be the same, so that's only one more batch that we have to do, and that's going to be the second week of January. So that's what, less than a month from now, like 3 or 4 weeks.
Gotcha.
I took a couple of pictures last week to get the site updated with the final production version, which because it looked better than what we had up on the site. And that's usually the thing, right? You have the prototype pictures on the site, and then the final production version, you're able to add a couple of things, tweak a couple of things, so that
Exactly.
looks better. And so I think I sent you those pictures. So.
Absolutely. Let's pull those up real quick. Give me just 1 second. And like,
Well, I
here they
sent you a
are.
bunch. I won't be able to show
Exactly.
them all, but
Well, look at
yeah,
that right there. That's just
Mhm.
sexy. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
yeah.
Oh my word.
And then another exciting thing is that I got word that the people that tested also ordered one.
Wow.
And theirs is also shipping out with this batch. And I got word from Norm that they would probably do a review or an unboxing or something together
Mm.
with Adam on the tested channel sometime maybe later this month even.
Oh
So
wow.
that's something that's fun to look forward to.
That is amazing. That is awesome. Awesome, awesome. That's coming out and it just looks good. And I mean, it's real funny because I remember when this stuff was announced and I was like, this is not, I was like, well, Patterson, I like the movie, but he's not my Batman. My Batman is,
Right.
the 89 and all that stuff. I like that. But now that we have the figure, it's real interesting. I've already seen some collectors with the figure, with the Patterson 22 figure, along with the bike and this Batmobile, the 22, right next to it, and it just looks amazing. It just looks phenomenal. Just to see that, just to see the community get excited for this piece.
Yeah. I missed that because you guys before we started the chat the stream it dropped today that you say the figures or last
Yeah,
few
yeah,
days,
the
maybe?
Hot Toys one just came out. So
Just came out.
Wow.
Yep, just came out.
I bought the Inard one, but it makes me I want to see a Batman with my Batmobile. So
I
I
think
don't
I
know.
saw somebody post something in the group. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to share this real quick, and this is from Alex Nig. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick, just to take a look. And let me see. Sure, give me 1 second.
Mhm.
I'd love to
And
see that.
that
Yeah, and
just
the
looks
NR
amazing.
Batman got delayed.
Oh, really?
So that one is delayed.
Any
Yeah.
idea how long?
No. I would say sometime 2024, but
Oh,
yeah.
that is cool.
Look at that. That just looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I love that. I love the look of that. The Batmobile and the Bat Signal to go together very well. I would say.
Yeah.
That looks like it just was all made in house. It looked like you guys all worked together to make it. It just pairs so seamlessly with it. It just looks great how they did that. Yeah. So I think a lot of
Yeah.
collectors are excited to be getting this 22 in stock. So I know some people out here in the chat that just said there's a comment. Everybody, I think one guy, Mark Lee. Markley said, "Yeah, mine's is shipping on the 11th, so they're coming.
Yeah,
They are coming on."
yeah. Where
That-
there's going to be a lot shipping in the next week, let's say. It's in small steps, but I'd say before the end of next week, they will most will have shipped out. But basically, anyone who wants it has paid theirs off. So yeah, it's available. Another fun thing. So if you missed out on this, it's still early days. So I would say get on the wait list. But
yeah.
as you know, we got the cooperation with the high end Warner Brothers collectible shop, and they
Mm-hmm.
pre-ordered a few units of basically everything we did. So or at least that they could still get their hands on. And they did order 2 of these that will go up in their shop somewhere in January. So if you subscribe to their newsletter, there's a good chance if you missed out and you don't want to get on the wait list to just subscribe to the Warner Brothers DC shop newsletter, and you can grab one of the 2 that's available. Same goes for the 1966. By the way, they still have.
Oh wow.
They have 2 on pre-order that they still did not put up in their site. So I don't know, maybe for the 1966, which is long since sold out.
Yes. Wonderful piece which me and Anthony both own, and that is, I mean, that's probably my favorite vehicle in my collection. I really think it is my favorite vehicle. Yost, you know how I am about that cockpit. That's my
Mm-hmm.
that's my end all be all. But that 66 is just so beautiful, just so sexy, and it's great that there's still an opportunity to go get it. Small opportunity to go get
Yeah,
it.
it's like I said, it's 2, and I don't know why they haven't put it in their shop yet, because they placed that pre-order with me. I don't know, 6 months ago. So maybe they decided to keep it. I don't know, but keep your eyes peeled. They got 2 that they might put up for sale in the coming month or so.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So, one of the big things we want to talk about the '89 Batmobile, and I know you had some new pictures to
Mm-hmm.
show
Yep,
as well. So we're
yep,
gonna go to those real quick. Just showing this. Let me share this tab right here. So we have the right here. We have the machine guns popping out right there.
yeah,
Looks
yeah.
amazing.
And what you can see here is the detail we added to the panel that goes on top of the pop-up gun. So for the real Hawkeyes, there's supposed to be a couple of rivets around at exact locations. We added those, but as you can see, there's also a metal grid below it, both in those openings on the front and those slits in the back.
Oh wow.
Now, if you show some other pictures later on, you will see that is like hatched cross sections.
Oh wow.
For the final production version, we're actually having custom steel lasered.
Oh wow.
So all those inserts will be actual steel, and they will be the exact hole pattern, cross section hole pattern that you saw on the actual 1989 Batmobile. So it's already more detail than the other model, but this is another thing to add. For this picture, this is the V1 test dash.
Nice.
Further on in the folder, you'll see some other pictures. Of course, since this is a 3D printed test, the chairs are still printed plastic. Of course, in the final version, that will be the silicone covered leather that won't peel that way.
Gotcha. So this is still very early, pretty much in
Yeah.
production.
So
Gotcha.
what you're seeing here is there's backlights on the counters. That's way too bright, so we're taking that down a lot. And what's also not yet built in here is there's a whole lot of green and red LEDs all over the dashboard that you're not seeing here, but that will also be added to the final version. And you're not seeing any of the print that will be added to the entire dashboard. I added some pictures in the folder that we can discuss later on,
Okay.
where there's going to be a whole slew of like white labels, lines, and arrows, and all kinds of stuff. So this is the final dashboard. This is on the right side, and then around the corner there's this little, what is it? A light blue purplish dash that was missing on all the other models that we're adding. What you won't be seeing in this render, by the way, is again all the silk screen lettering and details, and like there's a bunch of red arrows and stuff on the buttons left and right of the screen that will of course be added, but you don't see that in this render.
Gotcha.
So that's new.
Let's see what else we got.
This is also new. Again, here's going to be a whole lot of labels added in the silk screening, but the green lights and the red lights, those are all going to light up. And then the final one, I think, is the center part of the dashboard.
There it is. Yep.
Right, with the red,
So
the
cool.
white lines around all the things, and then of course there's holes now where there will be the exact correct counters again, and then there's the button, and then there's the yellow and black safety thing underneath, and again a whole lot more. This is also new. This is what wasn't finished on the Anthony stream. By the way, at the top here, you're still seeing the OnStar edition that was later added. We've taken that out for the final version because that was not in the movie. That was added to the #1 vehicle later. So that's why we had it in the 3D render, but it had to be taken out. So that's going to be gone in the final version, of course.
That looks amazing. Definitely looks amazing. Well, also wanted to show this, going back to what you were saying about the rivets in the in that top part that pops off with the guns. That just looks, just another shot of it. Now I see what you're saying. That just looks phenomenal. That looks great.
Yeah, and for the final version, the mesh is going to be tighter, with more holes instead of the mesh type thing. But that's custom laser cut steel that we need to be making for the actual production version.
Wonderful, just wonderful look. Wonderful looking. Oh my god, like just the detail that goes into this already for me is like comparison that have the Hot Toys version. I can already see the difference. Even looking at the painting, the paint work, just even this vent right here, how much more narrow. It's not as wide as the Hot Toys is. It's more narrow and looks more streamlined, and more, to what we saw on screen. So
right.
this,
and
yeah,
this is still a low resolution picture with not final paint, so it's the final version is going to be better, and you really need to see it in hand to see the detail and all that sort of thing. But it gives you a bit of an idea.
absolutely, absolutely. Before we continue, want to give a shout out to big man Brian Wong. What's up with you, bro? Definitely,
dude.
Thank
Working
you.
on my display cases, I hope.
So, yeah,
Mine.
Brian,
Brian.
I got an order coming for you, Brian. Definitely. The Costco cases and the muscle racks are cool, but you just, man, dust.
It's so cool stuff. His stuff is cool, but burning the midnight oil, man. Respect. Singapore, what is it? Like midnight now?
Yeah, man. Definitely.
Dude.
Brother, thank you so much for the $10 bomb. Thank you so much, bro. Always good. Brian is just a great guy anyway. Oh my God, he's just sweet. I remember he hit me up one day. He was like, yeah, man, I seen your channel and all that. I remember when you first started. I was like, what? You watch me?
It's so cool. Oh, here, 2:30 a.m. is what he's saying. Dude,
oh my
get some
God, sleep. Dude, come on. Seriously? That's what's up, bro. What a great guy. What a great guy. And guys, thank you all out there for watching us. Man, definitely. Just jumping back into some of these photos of the Batmobile. I'm just looking back at them. Can we show that one about the comparison? Can we show that one?
Yeah. I decided to add at least one picture of the comparison so that just at low resolution from the top, with basically only the top part of our car, but that'll show them at least the size difference between what we're making and the Hot Toys one.
So there it is. There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, for all you, because I know that question that came up in the community a lot. Even within the Jazzinc Facebook group, I was looking at it one day, and I just saw saw a lot of people just sending you Joost, a lot of questions about the size, like what type of case should this go in, what type of module case I should buy for it, or the size. But looking at this right here, I mean, wow, this is big. Yeah, it's a big boy. This is night and day from the Hot Toys one. Wow.
Yeah, it's and like I said, I believe I said this on Anthony's stream as well. We got the actual measurements in the 3D scan, of course, but it was confirmed when we saw a very old show, a news show from from 1989, where the builder actually is quoted, or he says live on camera, that the actual vehicle was close to 23 feet long. And if you
Wow.
go back to our size, then yeah, it's well, I know centimeters, so ours is somewhere between 110 and 111. Do that times 6 and convert it to feet, and you're there. So this is the correct size, the one that we have. So
Wow, that's amazing. It is amazing looking. Jesus, I'm looking at it for me in the Hot Toys one that I have right now in my muscle rack, and I think my muscle rack is like a 72. Something I forget that it's one of the largest ones you can buy. I'm like, man, this was barely gonna fit. But I love it. I love it because this, this is what we wanted. It's looking at it, and we don't have to. And if for everybody in the chat and everybody out here watching, we don't have to crap on something to level up, somebody else. Yos's work speaks for itself. And you can definitely see that here. What you're getting is two totally different products. For the people that are, getting the Hot Toys version, there's a certain price point there. If you want Jazz Inc.'s version, it's a certain price point there, but they are two totally different products, and you can tell by this shot right here. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, and I felt okay because it doesn't show ours in the best light. This was very early in the process.
Yes,
it doesn't show off the final paint. With if you look at other pictures, you'll see how much more beautiful the paint's going to be, and all the details, and of course the lines and all that sort of thing. But I thought we don't need that, but people do need to see the size difference. So this is why I went back and forth and decided this is safe to show.
absolutely. No, completely understand. Completely understand. Before we continue, we got a major burn. Major Brand Derlin, what's up with you, bro? It's been a while for the $20 bomb. Thank you so much for watching, and just amazing. So just wanted to say thank you, Joost. Also, your team has the best customer service. I can't agree more. Deeply appreciate the care and the passion the whole with the whole Jazzinc team brings to the community. Happy holidays.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that, because especially for Kiara, who does a lot of that first line customer service work, she's always like, it's not good enough. We need to do more. We need to do more. I need to respond within 12 hours instead of 24. And I'm like, you have no idea the level of access we're already giving compared to other companies. But she needs to hear this sort of thing. So thank you, Major Bren Derling. I appreciate that. We work hard at that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that.
Yost, I will say I think your mic's a little low. I know a lot of people, it's a little hard to hear you. I don't know if the gain is. Yeah, just a quick chime in, because you're just a little quiet.
Is this better? Does it help, or do I need to do something in the settings or something?
I think that might.
I think that's better. I think that sounds much better.
Yeah, I think that might be better. Yeah. It was just a little low. I know a lot of people in the chat were mentioning, and I could tell a little bit, a little quiet, but yeah, man, let's do. Man, if you can, Jay, hit that zoom in a little real quick on that too.
Thank you. Let's see. Let me do that real quick.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Thank you. I didn't even.
Yeah, because look, I know Yost. You got to be you, Yost. Totally understand. Mm-hmm. I think it looks awesome. You already know me. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm going with yours. I mean,
yeah,
it's just so much. Look, Hot Toys is great. But I mean, you're nailing that accuracy, man, and those dimensions. I mean, that is a beefy Batmobile, dude, and all of the updates that you've been telling me, and either on my show or in your Facebook group, or here now, even with Jay, just the constant updates that you're doing to this thing. It's a marvel, man. Call me a shill, call me whatever you guys want out there, but dude, that's what's up. I mean, if for me, because I love 89 so much that I was like, okay, look, the Hot Toys is cool. Don't get me wrong, but I want to go. If I'm gonna get the vehicle, I want the most accurate. Dude, I don't even know how to explain it, man, without sounding corny, but it's badass. It's badass, man. I'm so excited that you've been working hard on this.
Well, yeah, I think this this rivals the 1966 in terms of community passion and the expert feedback and how far we went for adding stuff. Like I said in your stream last week, there's stuff that there's a whole community about this 1989 Batmobile, people who about building the thing in real size, and they're still finding out stuff, right? And
exactly
during our process, in terms of like the detail and the texts on the interior, the weird yoke throttle type thing, all that sort of thing happened while we were already into prototyping. So there's so much detail that we could add, and let's just not. I don't want to put it in terms of better. It's going to be a very different vehicle, and much more so than you can appreciate from this picture. In terms of the lines, it's a different vehicle. I think they might have scanned a different vehicle, one of the stunt vehicles or whatever. I don't know, but it's just it's different. And I'm not going to be pointing out all the differences. Somebody else is going to do that, but you're going to be getting different vehicles in terms of size.
But
and I can confirm, like I said, we've now added all the silkscreen details, so there's going to be more lights on the interior, more LEDs, more decals and details and silk screening on the interior. Well, I've also confirmed that we're going to be doing some die-cast parts, and then now we're adding the custom laser cut mesh below. There's quite a few surfaces. If you go through the pictures, you might be able to see a few. There's let's see.
You want to show the paint test?
A bit. No, we can do that as well later. But a couple of close-ups where, if you could do a couple of these close-ups that you're seeing in the center screen. So like all these openings you're seeing right there, those will all have that custom laser cut stainless steel mesh.
Like that kind of like mesh
wow.
there. Yeah.
That looks good.
Yeah. And so, but that's these lines. If you go further into the pictures, I think if you go right, I think there's going to be another one where
it's still, you gotta like, there you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and this.
Oh, look at that!
Those are the rubber inserts. Yeah, and then the slots you see behind there's some more of that metal mesh detail going behind that. So there's going to be a lot of that, which really adds detail and depth, and of course accuracy to the model, which I'm excited about. Yeah, like that. But again, this doesn't show the holes are still too big. This is off the shelf stuff that we could find for the prototype, but to produce that we need to produce that in a little bit of a bigger. Here you're seeing the rivets, and there's about like 10 rivets on this on that piece that should be there. It's like I said, we got a lot of passionate fans who know literally every little rivet and detail into this vehicle. We're so lucky. I already shouted out to William Babington and Andrea Searcher for that. So it's just great.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to them, dude. Because here's the thing: like, I love '89 Batman, but it's more of just sentimental reasons, right? You grew up watching it. You went to the theater with like your folks or whatever. So I've always loved it, but I really appreciate the people that you're mentioning who really are fanatics that because I don't know, I'm gonna be real with you, I don't know shit. I mean, I don't know all these details. Like, I just know the Batmobile was awesome. I like the movie. I grew up with it, right? But when people go through all those details and know all that, it just makes the overall experience that much more enriching, I think, right? Because then when my plan is, right, when I get it, I could just look at it and be like, holy crap, like you could really see all of the subtle nuances that are like accurate to this vehicle that you wouldn't, in the movies, you never really see that, kind of, right? But then the Batmobile's there, you're watching the action, you're there for the story. Then you take, you're taking a step back out and you're like, yo, okay, this is actually what the car is.
Right. Because I didn't notice any of these details, having the Hot Toys version for all these years. So I look at it, I think when people just see the shape and they just see, what they have in front of them, and they're like, okay, this is the Batmobile. Obviously, anybody comes in there, they can see it. But like what Anthony is saying, and like what you're saying, when these people that are that are diehard enthusiasts know this vehicle in and out, to have that detail and to have that home in front of us it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and it's a bit of it's great and not so great. When I start these projects, everything looks pretty good to me, right? I had I didn't see any issues with the 1966 prototype that Hot Toys made. I didn't see anything wrong with their 1989 Batmobile, but then you get into it in nitty gritty, and then you can't unsee it, right? And then there's so much stuff that it's when I make notes, it's literally pages and pages of changes that have gone into this and details and stuff that added. So
Amazing work. I wanted to show this part real quick too because I just, I love gadgets, I love gizmos, I love lights. That's my thing, LEDs. I love LEDs. And just seeing this right here and just seeing like how the light flickers and have that exhaust come out of there. I know it's not. I know some people said, "Oh, we've seen that before," but to see that coming from this type of vehicle of this scale, come on, that's great. That had to be fun. Also, like developing and putting it together.
yeah, especially when we got the chance to put those lights. There actually there are like 6 structures inside that exhaust, and to be able to put the lights in there and just make it work with the electronics, that was very cool. What we're experimenting with though is, because now we've gotten a slightly purple bluish tint through the orange, and I was in the stream with Anthony, I said, well, I want this to be as red as possible, yellow and red, but then it's very hard to see the smoke, so I'm still
We cannot. Yeah.
Now, so is this just for testing then, essentially, or I mean, like, are you gonna want to put the final version out with like a purple?
I want to change the color as much as possible, but it's going to be a little less yellow and red than I wanted it to be, or you won't see the smoke. So it's we're still
like trying to find that middle ground in there. So okay, that makes sense. I mean, if you can't see it, then it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah. But we're still testing with a couple of different lights and different types of lights to see what we can do, basically. But So, but this is still a work in progress. This is the V1 still. Again, I think next week, because later this week we're finally getting the final silkscreen stencils that we can then test on the new and final dashboard, build in the lights, and we'll have something to show that's much closer to final in the next couple of days. But yeah, that paint looks so different in different sorts of lights. It's just it blows me away. Still, I think from this angle with this light, this looks very close to a picture. Well, if you flip it 180 degrees, that from that I have of the real thing. Anyway.
Yeah. It looks great. Looks damn good. And just looking back, looking at some of the paint tests and everything right here, like just looking at that paint. Hold on, let me zoom in just for a little bit. Just looking at how the paint work comes in on that one, it looks way different already from the Hot Toys version. And just stop not to go, but
yeah, different light gives different results on this one, just like the movie did.
Right.
Gotcha. Now, are you gonna still do like different paint testings too, or is this like final mix?
There's one subtle change that we're adding. I hope to be able to show that in the prototype. Not completely sure, but I think the final prototype is this final paint you're going to be able to see. But again, it's very hard to capture. If you look at this in person, again, it looks different. But somebody in the chat a couple of minutes ago said, I watched this movie yesterday, and I noticed that car is definitely not full on black, and I agree.
Yeah, it's not. No, it is.
Yeah, a lot of our brains see it that way because in the theater, or whatever, or watching it on tape, the colors are different. I mean, but again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, where you have, all these details in the car that you may not have seen in the movie. It's kind of the same thing, like with the paint, like you're seeing the actual car as it was, before filming, essentially.
Yeah. One of the builders actually, I don't know if I've seen so many videos and read so much stuff that I don't remember where I got this, but they actually said that there were two reasons they did the multicolor. The one was that Tim Burton wanted it to look like a bit of a monster, that it was alive. And the other thing was that
Nice.
otherwise, if you did it all black, it didn't read with all the low key lighting scenes that they had in the movie. So it didn't read well on screen. So yeah.
Looks phenomenal. Definitely looks phenomenal. Now, this is, I know a lot of people had this question. Doc Bat said, "Yost, will this Batmobile fit the 1/10 scale module case?"
Only just, because it literally is that long. It's slightly over 110 centimeters.
Oof.
So if you put it end to end, it's going to be touching the sides, and you'll have to angle it. But it's one of the reasons why I went with the DF series. It's 120.
Yes.
It gives you a little bit more leeway. But yeah, you will really have to rotate it a bit to make it look more comfortable in that 110 sixth module case.
Yeah, I mean, definitely when it comes, I just know when it comes to displaying stuff like that, you definitely want to go, big. You want to have it displayed properly. You want to have it enough. You need to have it enough egress over the top, just so it has enough room to look good inside the case, where you're not just squeezing it in. So, but no,
yeah, like Larry says in the chat, if you're still able to choose, I would go with the DF series. I mean, it will fit in a 110, but DF series is where it's at, I think, for this.
Yeah, because I think, like, I mean, your width, and Brian's in the chat, so he can probably, well, he can obviously confirm. But the width of the Batmobile, the 89, is about 18 inches. So I don't know how deep the 6 series are. So Brian could probably just chime in on that. But if so, like you're saying, Yost, if it does fit, I mean, it's like you're squeezing it in. You know what I mean? Like, that's gonna be just, that's it.
Get Brian there.
Yeah, let's work out an order for each of your products to fit in which module case. Yeah, that's not even a bad idea.
No.
But basically, I like the DF 120s and the DF 60s. The 60s for most true skill stuff, and for the larger stuff, the DF 120s is where it's at for me.
It definitely makes a lot of sense. Now, for this project, pre-ordering, is the window's closing pretty soon, correct?
Yeah, but like all the stuff we do, we're never closing pre-orders until we're happy with the final prototype. There's two reasons for that. One is, of course, that the people who are still on the fence want to see what they're getting. Fine. The other thing is that we need to get a prototype we're all happy with, and that all is the community, the experts, Warner Brothers, and myself, before we commit to production. And that's always the next phase I talk about, right? The really, really big steel molds and for the casting and all that, especially with this die cast stuff in here as well. You don't want to have to make changes after that.
Exactly.
These molds are tens of thousands of dollars. Yeah. So don't worry. And with all the stuff that we keep adding, that pushes the deadline a little bit further. I mean, with the silk screen, and now that we found the budget and the supplier that was willing to work with us for the custom steel plated mesh stuff that I talked about, that all made so that it's probably going to be closing right before Christmas. But if I can get to the point where I can open keep the pre-orders open until the 31st, I would be happy to do that. It's just, I need to commit to everybody in the supply chain. This is the exact amount we're making, right? And
yes,
then I don't make any more. Well, that's not true. I make the reserve units that we need for in case FedEx loses something, or it gets dropped, or driven over by a truck, or whatever.
Right.
But that's the safety margin. Basically, everything is made to order, right?
Absolutely. That totally makes a lot of sense. Totally. So there's still time. There's still time.
A couple of weeks, basically, and you'll see the final product before pre-orders close. That's all I can say.
And we didn't really talk too much about this either on my show either. But like, so with this version too, like, you're also gonna include like the carpeted floors and the leather seats, and like similar to like the 66 and whatnot.
Yep. Yeah.
I know some people
Yeah.
may not have known that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I'm working on a drawing to show which parts are going to be die cast, so that people can also see what parts are die cast. Because on the real vehicle, there's not a lot of metal, right? Most of that is, what is that stuff they cast on? They use for cars, fiberglass.
Fiberglass. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we're working on. It's a negotiation with the suppliers, of course. Prices, diecast is of course a bit more expensive, and we're pushing that budget and trying to get everything out of it we can. And so I hope to show in the next couple of days, let's say next week, what parts are going to be diecast. But the good news is we're already over delivering so much compared to what we originally put up for pre-order earlier this year, right? With the sound, the lights, the smoke, the die-cast parts, the metal parts, the leather seats, the silk screen printing, the remote, I mean, it goes on and on, right?
All that and as collectors and as a collector, I love the fact that you're doing that, especially remotes, because it kills me to go back and have to, finagle with buttons and everything when I turn on my displays. So I love the remote, especially to the 66. My daughter, which she thinks she has her own little McFarlane Toys 66 Batmobile, but she comes down in the basement and now she's at the age where she can recognize, like, wait a minute, ooh, Daddy's Batmobile. And she grabbed the remote one day and I couldn't find it. I was like, what is she? She's running around with the remote, just clicking it, clicking. I found it in her little play space that she'd been clicking it and turning it on. I'm like, what are you doing, kid? But yeah, she is in love with that vehicle. So thank you for
that. And with the module cases, I really love just having remotes. And every morning when I get to work, click, I have those wall socket switch things, so everything switches on, and then use the remotes to get the lights I want. So it's
absolutely,
it's cool.
Absolutely, it's very a lot of fun. Want to give a shout out to Benjamin E. Green. That's my uncle right there. What's up, uncle? He says, "Will there be any 1/6 scale or 3 and 4 scale figures to sit properly within, i.e., 89, 66 figures?" So he's asking about the figures.
But I don't know, Benjamin. Are you talking about like 3/4 of a 6 scale figure? So something that's basically undersized for a 6 scale.
Yeah.
Figure?
I think that's what he's saying.
Exactly.
Just so it can fit, like no legs or something, or
No, I don't see a market for that. I mean, we engineer all our vehicles so that the figures fit. So, and for this one, it's I'm not worried. I mean, if it fits in the Batwing, it easily fits in here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No.
I don't see a market for that. And the 66 figures, I like the way they sit in the 1966. So
they sit great.
Yeah.
No, I think
so.
They
No,
sit
I don't
great.
think so.
No, definitely. So was there anything else you wanted to talk about with this? Because I wanted to definitely move on to the 95 Batmobile, because I know that one's just about ready to go out, right?
Yeah. Well, if you could go into the folder for the 1989, I added a few more pictures.
Okay.
I wanted maybe that we could discuss that. So if you could show the whole folder again.
Okay.
There's at least the one screenshot that shows a little bit of, it's like a technical drawing that shows all the silk screen printing that's going to go on there, just to give you an idea of how much that really is. Scroll down. Oh, maybe you need to sync the folder again. Or did I do something wrong? Hang on.
Let me see if I can resync it. Maybe let's do it again. Oh, give me 1 second. Let me bring it back up.
Yeah, there's a screen. It's called screenshot.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll bring that up. All right. Yes, I see it. Yep.
Good.
All right, let's bring that back up. Bring that back on up. And here we are. And screenshot.
Right. So this, again, it's rough. But if you zoom in a bit, you might be able to see some of it. Yeah, you probably won't be able to read the labels on this size, but if you move down a bit, Yeah. Yeah, here you can see the labels on the buttons for the screen with the Batmobile on it, and yeah, I thought you would be able to see more. But anyway, the basically you're seeing in blue lines the outlines of the panels, and everything that's black is going to be silk screen printed on there. So there's going to be a lot of detail there.
Amazing. That is amazing. Like I said, once again, this is just a level of detail that's just astounding. It's mind blowing. To get, especially to get that small in 1/6 scale, to get those
Uh huh.
labels. Like, oh my God, how long did it take? I mean, the eyes to do that.
How small is that going to be, right? Yeah.
Right. That is amazing. Definitely amazing. So going back to the 89, like I'm very excited to get it, and to get it and get everything in hand. So when do you think we'll see a release, like possibly releasing out to the public?
Yeah, so that with all the additions that we're doing, of course the date will get pushed back a bit. I think right now we're looking at June, July for the release.
June, July. That will be here before you know it, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. So get your affairs in order. Definitely. That is awesome. But we know also with the 95. So that's in final production, correct?
Correct. Yeah. And it's nice that you bring that up because I forgot to add something. Maybe if I can
Sure.
share screen. Um, right. So we always listen, right? And we still weren't happy, and some of the people pointed it out too in the group with how the ribs on the side should kind of fade into nothing. And
Mm,
so even on that early production sample, it didn't fade off enough. So we changed the molds, and now again we listen. So for both the side vents and for this too, that is now fading into nothing much more subtly. And so those indentations, I think it's going to be literally a handful of people that will see that and will appreciate it. But we listened to the feedback on the early production sample that we showed, and that's we added that's new since I talked to Anthony.
amazing, just amazing. That I'm Once again, the level of detail is just mind-boggling. As a graphic designer, and I know Anthony is in graphic design as well, just I love the boxes. When I got the 66 box in, I was just
Mhm.
marveling that I didn't even want to open it for like the first hour. First of all, I was in awe, but just looking at the graphic design of the box, I was like, this is amazing. This is just a marvel. And then the mass size of it.
Yeah, it's
Like,
big. It surely is big. Yeah, so big shout out to Christopher Nico who he
look at
got in
that.
touch with me a long while ago, and we've been working together ever since. And this is something he does so well, so I really like that.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So when is this one dropping? This one should be coming out pretty soon, right?
Yeah, to be safe, let's say February. So that's I would say maybe 8 to 10 weeks from now. We're already so yeah. There's going to be so many Batmobiles released in a. If you look at last summer to
Mhm.
next summer, it's going to be the last of the 66. We did both the Zack Snyder BVS and Justice League release. We did the 2022 release, the 1995 release, and the first around summer next year, the first of the 1989s will ship. So that's five Batmobiles dropped within a year.
Wow. Wow, we're gonna be broke. But that's amazing. Wow, look at this. I didn't even notice this detail right here from last
Yeah,
time.
nobody's
That
ever
is
seen it. I think. Well, maybe the picture of the Batmobile you see that in the movie. If you zoom in, that's the green screen closest to the glass. That I think you see a shot of that in the movie, but for the rest of it, it was again all the experts having to point out stuff because this is in the
yeah,
roof of the canopy, and you don't ever see it.
amazing.
It's really cool.
That is. It's definitely really cool. Anthony, did you want to, because I know Anthony, I know you're very excited about the 95.
I am. I just don't think I can house it, and that's what sucks because I think it looks awesome. The video that you showed, last time on my show, I just the whole wraparound. I mean, it's dude, it looks badass. It really, really does. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for people to see it. I don't know if I can. That's hard, man. I mean, especially because I have the figures too, and then you're just like, but do I have the? Look at that, dude.
Look at that.
I know. I mean, and it's so like.
And my boy
it's
is
such a
6'3".
unique design.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, he's tall. I mean, so when you look at that, I mean, you're like
6'3". That's a big
pretty
car.
But it's also compact of sorts, right? I mean, like when you showed the comparison, I think with the 89. I mean, this is but it's so cool, man. The colors are awesome. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I got the space, man. As much as I love it. It's freaking sweet. Yeah, look at that, man.
So that comparison, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, essentially it is the same length-ish, give or take the wing, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it's easy. It's such a cool car. It really is such a cool car.
So the main body is shorter than the 1989, but with the wing, it's longer. So you definitely need the DF-120s for the 1989. And then even then, if you angle it, it will only just fit.
Wow. It's amazing. And that's the thing, is like having all these, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are statue collectors and going from 1/6 scale to statues to vehicles. For me, I'm not mainly it's probably like 2 statues that I'm after right now. That's it. I'm mainly a vehicle guy. That's why when I first found Joost and found Jazzinc, I was like, wow. I was like, oh my God, this is exactly right up my alley. Because I want, just like the tagline says, I want something that can bring my collection to life. And when you have the figure next to the vehicle, it just looks, I just love that. It just takes it to a whole nother level. But where the hell do you store all that? You have to choose wisely, I guess. But I mean, Yost, you're making products that everybody wants, and we just have to find space for it. So yeah. It just looks good. That just
space is a constant struggle. But the thing is at least that you are giving everybody the opportunity out there that has a Batmobile that that resonates with them.
Oh my God, a Batwing. A Batwing. Who knows? Because I mean, come on. I don't. The other companies were too scared to do it, and I think that's what made me fall in love with your company, Yost, is the fact that there were other guys. The other guys should tease the Falcon cockpit. You guys made it a tangible, real thing. And that was the thing that made me like, oh, wow, this is going to be amazing. They do it. And to go from that to where you were with that project back then to where you are now with doing elaborate pieces. And, it's amazing. It's amazing. Has to be amazing for you.
It is great. I mean, I had an old colleague from a previous job come by today, walk around the showroom, and he was like, "You guys did all that?" Because he's a scale model builder too, so he loves all that stuff. And he was like, "Well, so this is like living the dream, right?" And I said, "Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you walk in the morning and working together with my wife, and I loved spending time with her, so that's great. And then the boys working in the back, and my dad every morning. I mean, it's just cool. It is great.
Definitely. Just looking at some of these customer setups. I know you guys talked about this last week, but I just seeing some of these displays right here. I like looking at other collectors' displays because it gives me ideas on how to display my stuff. So so just seeing
you guys. You have the 1966, so look at how everything just dwarfs next to that Batwing.
Yes. That's amazing.
Batwing is huge, dude. And I mean, firsthand, I know. I mean, I've got your bat signal, so like I know the size of that bat signal. So just looking at it like that, I'm like, geez, yeah, like you know what I mean? Like it's
right.
Yeah, it's huge, dude. That looks so good.
It really looks good. This guy, and I follow this guy on forget his name. Sorry, but just looks amazing. Just looks good. Looks great. Definitely looks good. That looks great. But what else I wanted to talk to you about was where exactly are we with the Starfighter, the Jedi Starfighter? Can you say has there been any updates on that particular piece? I know people out there would like to know.
Oh yeah, well, um, thanks to Izzy Ramos and Marcel Leuthold, we nailed down the 3D model to where we're happy.
Mhm.
So what we're doing right now is we're translating that into an actual 3D model that we can use for prototyping and then for production. And people always wonder about that. I mean, you have a 3D model, then you're done. Well, not
Yep.
really. So when you really want to physically produce something, you have to break it up into puzzle pieces that will fit together seamlessly, but that can also be produced. And the trickiest thing to do is think about a 3D mold, which is like a 3D puzzle piece, and you inject some material into that. And as soon as that solidifies, your mold still has to be able to open, right? So as soon as you
Exactly.
make a
Mhm.
structure that is too complex, you can't open that mold again. And then there's the release angles and the all different things you have to really. So basically what you're doing is I call it from like 3D drawing to 3D engineering. So you're engineering the 3D model to something that you can actually physically make and assemble, and that would then work with the molds and the different materials, where you also have to wonder about the different materials have the different tolerances. I might have mentioned this in an earlier stream, but one of the trickiest things that we're doing now by adding all the metal and the die cast to the 1989,
Hmm.
a lot of people don't know is that die cast actually has worse properties in terms of um, detail resolution and basically the size tolerances and shrinkage than the specialist materials that we're using on most of our other models. So it's really about how do you make sure that all these pieces then still fit together and interact in a way you're going to be happy with, not only now but let's say 5 years down the road. So that's we're now
Exactly.
engineering that. I think um, that engineering drawing should be done in January. So I think we should have a prototype as early as February on this one, which
Oh
is, of
wow.
course, yeah, that's really fast compared to other projects. And um, I can't say his name, but somebody who worked on the actual vehicles in the actual movie contacted me. He wanted both, and he's been whispering in my ear with stuff.
Ooh, sweet
And
nothings, little tidbits of
yeah,
information. That is an
Right.
invaluable resource right there.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So one of the questions that people had was the way the lighting in the film hit the vehicle. It almost looked like the cockpit was a shinier finish than the other wings. And I
Right.
was able to actually verify that from the source. And he was like, yeah, no, that's just the lighting. That's definitely not how the real vehicle was. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, so that's so yeah. I mean, and that is the coolest thing, right? I mean, not only to have Patrick Tatopoulos and Zack Snyder want the Batwheel, but also Joe and I forget his other name, the guys who actually physically built it, ordered our Batmobiles, and now this guy who worked on the Jedi Starfighter wants our models to represent his work, and it's just that is just cool. That is just cool.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
we can be very sure that we're accurate on this, and especially with all the input. He even talked to us about the Arabesh characters that are supposed to be on the side of each cockpit.
Yes.
So, yeah, so this is going to be a faster project in that case, in that sense that we didn't have, if you compare the 66 and the 1989, where we had to go back and forth with the experts and the fans for months and months and months on the design, where this is pretty much done now.
Oh
Mm.
wow. So this
Yeah.
process was way more streamlined to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow. That's awesome. And I know in some like looking at the production in the movie because of Hayden Christensen's height, they actually had his legs hanging out. Did you guys figure that out?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're actually seeing a render. of of the correct size Hot Toys vehicle inside our cockpit, and as you can see, it works. It fits.
Awesome.
So we managed to finagle it so that it worked.
That's perfect. That's so awesome. That's an awesome piece. I can't wait for that. Are there any other projects like down the line you guys excited to work on? Because I know I know there's been a lot of clamoring in the community for Jurassic Park stuff, like the Jurassic Park vehicles and stuff like that. Have you guys made any headway or any of that, or had any conversations about any of that stuff?
Conversations, yes, but it's still too early to say that we've made any headway or that we can say anything about that. I mean, when it comes to 2024, we're the most of the projects are locked in,
Gotcha.
and so the most important things that we're working on now is, of course, the release of the 1995, then the 89, and the BVS Batcave, then the 1966 Bat Cycle, of course.
Yes.
We're I actually had a call with Eric Seltzer again, um, who runs 1966batmobile.com, who owned the number one bike. I had a call with him on Monday night,
Oh wow.
going over details, and he's got a lot of pictures of the number one bike, of the number one cart. So we can go into ridiculous detail there. And of course, I got a word from Burt Ward's agent that he's now done with all the plates, signing the
Yeah.
plates. So
Oh, okay, nice.
yep. So
Nice.
they're
Look at
coming
that.
back to us. So everyone who's ordered is going to get a Burt Ward signed plate, and of course, it's going to be numbered. Um, this vehicle will also have die-cast parts, probably even more than the 1989, because of the price
Wow.
to size ratio that we did on that. We're going to do more die-cast parts on this. And so I think the 3D model, it depends on how much back and forth we need to do, like the 1966. I think this is going to be a slower process than the Jedi Starfighter, but a faster process than the 66 and the 1989 Batmobiles.
Yep.
So we're going to have another 3D model to review for the experts in the upcoming few weeks.
Nice.
I'm assuming there's going to be some feedback and changes that we need to incorporate. So I'm going to say a prototype for the bat cycle is also going to be February, March. So there are going to be some prototypes in the first quarter of next year that we can show off. And until then, we can keep the pre-orders open, of course. So yeah, in terms of delivery, like I said, 1989, 1995, 1966 Bat Cycle, the Bat Cave, and for the 5th, we are still working with Executive Replicas to see if we can do an extremely limited run of the EVA Space Pod. So,
oh wow, nice.
yeah. See.
Nice. Whoa, look at that.
Ooh.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Oh my gosh.
Of course, a fully detailed light up cockpits with all the lights and screens and everything. So, yeah. That, the thing is, we did a vote in my Facebook group, and I don't know if we can make the minimum order numbers for that, but that is something that's also possible for next year. And of course, then we're going to do the test the waters early next year on the 12 scale 1989 Batmobile, right? And then
Oh
if
wow.
that works, the 12 scale Batwing would be next then.
That's awesome. So with the 12 scale, Mark, do you think at some point, I mean, I guess it just really depends on the demand, right? To do
Right.
12 scale on because I know there's a lot of 12 scale guys out there. And hey, would you consider doing pretty much or even go back to revisiting some of the older pieces that you did in 12 scale?
I'm definitely open to that, but I'm still extremely critical in the sense that I'm just not sure that we can hit the price point that they want. I mean, 12 scale market is really mass produced stuff. If you look at McFarlane, if
Yeah.
you look at Hasbro, all that stuff, I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of units, right? We can never do that. ask them to make calculations, and we would still need to do thousands of units to get to a price point where the 12 scale community would support that. So
exactly.
it's yeah.
The numbers got to add up. That's just what it is. The numbers have to add up.
I think it's going to be, what is that? Is it a catch-22 or something where you need the numbers to get to the price, but you can't get the price until you get the numbers? Well, it's a whole thing. But anyway, still looking into that.
Absolutely. No, it totally makes sense. So for the BVS Batmobile, I know you did a small run of those, and those were signed by Zack Snyder. Did those all go out, or are they still in production?
No, they're all produced. They're ready. They're sitting in my warehouse, and we've delivered. Everyone who's paid off has been delivered. So we're still waiting for people to finish payment plans, basically. And since it's December, we're seeing the cancellations of people really being stuck for cash. So
yeah.
But then again, we have waitlist, and on those signature models, we did 250 of each, and the waitlist combined is over 100 units. So it's like, regardless, I will be able to sell them. But as long as not everything is delivered, we still get some cancellations, and it's still possible to get them. But like the 1966, that's going to be a long shot to get that.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
You're better off with the 22, the 95. Those, the wait lists are still short enough that you have a pretty good chance that there's going to be a cancellation down the line that you're going to get it. But for the 66, the BVS, and the Justice League, I don't think so.
Yeah, those are kind of long gone, and you're just seeing, I've and I hate to bring it up, but I've seen people on like eBay sell the 66 like for like an enormous amounts of what it costs. And I'm like, oh my God, because you can't buy it anymore.
No, exactly. I get messages all the time, and then those are the actual prices that were paid at the end of the auction. I've heard prices anywhere from $3,300 to $5,200.
Yes,
it's ridiculous. So
yes. If you want it, you gotta put a down payment on it. You gotta pay it off. Get your money. That's or if you don't pay for it now, you'll pay for it more later. That's usually what I say.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's the stuff we're making. Once it sells out, the prices go up on the secondary market, and it doesn't come back. So yeah.
Definitely.
That's the way to sell it to your wife. It's an investment, babe.
Yes, it is.
Well, you know what was funny when my wife is my wife. I love her because when she saw the Burt Ward nameplates for the Bat Cycle, she looked at me and was like, "Oh, really? So Burt Ward actually sounds?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "So you got to get that right." I was like, "Oh, you're giving me permission. I have permission." She's like, No. I said, No. You just said, because her eyes lit up. She was like, "Wait a minute, Burt Ward actually sounds?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "What? Everybody?" I was like, "Yeah. This is, yeah." She was like, "Well, you got to get it." Like, so you're going to get it. I'm like, "Okay, you just gave me."
She's a keeper.
Exactly. Yeah, she puts up with all my stuff. I'm surprised I'm still, but anyway. But no, I want to give a shout out to Mark Lee. Thank you for the $2 bomb. He says, "Joost, Fast and Furious, please."
That's Universal, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So the way talks are going now, it will probably start if we start, it will be smaller first in terms of licensing, but I think if we show what we can do, I can't imagine there will be a Fast and Furious market, because maybe not 6-scale collectors, but then the slack might be picked up by people who just love cars and want that Dodge. What I think it's a Dodge Charger that he has with the 2 stripes and a bunch of other cars too. So who knows?
Yeah, I can see car enthusiasts going crazy for that. I think I saw somebody in the group the other day, Yost. They mentioned one of my favorite shows is Supernatural, and in that show they have the they have the car Baby. I forget what Baby is, which car that is. Oh my god, I can't even remember off the top of my head. But a lot of people love that car. Some people asked about that. I asked about Christine one time, and I think that would be great. Stephen King's Christine, that would be amazing car to have. But it's not a lot of
Yeah.
interest in it though.
Yeah, so I don't know. I have been thinking me past 2024, the things I want to do. Well, I see Justin McFly, Mach 5 Speed Racer is definitely on my list.
Yes,
Um,
yes,
if I want to go through the headache of the double license, maybe do the James Bond DB5 because I really, really want to do that.
yes.
But beyond that, I mean, you're getting at the end of the road of Batman vehicles at one point.
Right.
And so I never say never. On the other hand, like I always say, the only thing I can do is be like the thermometer of the community and say like Christine or Supernatural's Baby. I think you're the only guy who ever asked. So there's not a lot.
Yeah.
There's not a lot, right? So
Yeah.
Fast and Furious, that does pop up. So
Yeah.
I can imagine that. But who knows when maybe if I start a Stephen King Christine, it might wake up a lot of people. So I don't know, but
It's possible, yeah.
It's possible. With the
but
horror community. Yep.
yeah. But what I really think is I want to do all the Batmobiles that that the community will allow me to make. I want to do Mach 5. I want to do Kit. I want to do
Yes.
James Bond's DB5 if I'm allowed to do it. But licensing is such a tricky beast, especially when you're small like us. So, like Kit, there's so many people involved you don't want to know. So that might take another 12 months before I can give you any more information. Yeah,
I'm crying because
I mean, with the figures, we visited London Warner Brothers for their big show September last year, right? So that's been 14, 15 months, and it's still going up the chain and all the for all the different countries and all that sort of thing. So you gotta really, really be patient, which is why I'm already working on licensing for 2025 because you got to start that shit now, you know?
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. Want to give a shout out to Figurecraft for the $10 bomb. Says, hi, happy waiting. Awaiting my 22 Batmobile to ship. Want to update? House kit coming on. We just talked about that. He said, happy holidays to you guys. Happy holidays to you as well. But yeah, that kid, I ain't gonna lie. I actually have a space in my mind out there where I wanted that kid. I'm like, I just know it's going. I just keep telling myself, I know it's only a matter of time.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, and everything. I'm gonna be throwing everything in the kitchen sink at that thing. So I just want that. Yeah,
I could just imagine you had the voice of, oh my God, you just have the voice of, I called him Mr. Feeney, affectionately, but you have the voice there. You have, oh my God. I mean, I remember I think it was about almost 20 years ago. They had a GPS, a Knight Rider GPS that you could just put in your car, and it had the guy's voice on it and everything.
Oh, that is cool.
So if you can incorporate something like that into it and the lights, oh my God, that'd just be, that'd be amazing.
Is the guy still alive? Is Mr. Feeney still alive?
I think he is. What's his name? Jeffrey Daniel?
Yeah, but he retired basically, right? I mean,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, if he has a charity, we love supporting the charities. I mean, Burt Ward, we're giving a donation for all his time of work to his animal charity, and then of course the American. Right. Exactly.
No,
and then the American Fund for Suicide Prevention for Zack Schneider and Patrick Tatopoulos. So maybe William has a charity that he would like sponsored by just saying a few words for us. I don't know. I can imagine that.
Amazing. That would be amazing. Look who we got in here. We got Professor Rowe. What's up, Mario? Thank you for the $10 bomb, brother. So always great
with the epic beard.
Yes. It's always great to get a direct updates from Yost. Thanks, fellas. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you as well.
Happy holidays.
Oh yeah, bro.
Definitely. This is a good question here from single songwriter. Because Yost, I know you're a music man after my own heart. I remember seeing all the guitars in back. I was like, you look like you can just wail and play. Definitely. But he single songwriter says, Mr. Music Man Yost, maybe 1/6 scale stage and guitars and amps, etc. There are a few musician figures and more to come. We just got Kurt Cobain from Blitzway. It'd be nice to have a full stage, you know. You ever think about doing stuff like that?
No, I haven't, but yeah, maybe this is my own filter here. That does sound cool. I mean, some like 6 scale wall of Marshalls or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
That would
if you
be
have
cool.
the Hendrix figure, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's well, that would be cool. And just doing a Jimi Hendrix guitar, maybe John Mayer's black one or something.
Yes. Oh my God, that would be so cool. So cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for that. So Yost, that's pretty much all I had for today. Did you want to
Great.
talk about anything before we head out, or anybody in the guys in the chat want to ask Yost something before we leave for the day?
Yeah, so maybe I'll say a few words and then people can put in some questions, some final questions we can ask. But yeah, we're just a heads up that, like I said, all the 2022s, the clean ones are going to be ready to ship in a couple of days, all of them. So if you can pay off early, that really helps. Same for the 2022 weathered ones, second week of January. Getting on the wait list really helps for stuff that's only recently come out, like the 2022. Like I said, because especially around the holidays, we do get cancellations. It's nice to find people for that. We're going to be putting it to a vote as soon as the 1989 goes into production. What are we going to be doing next? You know, so join the Facebook group so that you can literally get your vote in on what you want the next Batmobile to be, the one that we make. I mean, right now, from what I've heard from the people, the shortlist should be the 1997, the cartoon or the animated series one, and the game Arkham Knight. Those three versions, put those through a vote head to head and see which is going to be the next Batmobile we're going to be making after the 89.
Looks amazing.
I feel like you got to do the Batman and Robin.
I want to do that one.
As much as I love Arkham, like the Arkham needs to happen, but then you're done. Like at least with the you know,
physical ones,
the movies and TV, you know.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's tough.
If I were the one to decide, then the 1997 is the next one for me. I mean, just to get the whole lineup done. Yeah, exactly. That would be great.
I am falling in love with this 22. I mean, it's just like, oh God. And then with the figure coming out, I'm kind of like, oh God, what am I going to do? I was talking so much trash a year ago. Like, I'm fine. I'm good on this. I don't need it. I don't need it. And then I see these wonderful pictures of the, I mean, dude, oh my God, it's so hard. It's really so hard, guys.
I really hope this one gets a reprise in the Batman 2 movie that's coming out.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if they move away from this. You know, I mean, this was cool. This was cool. I mean, just a scene stiller. It really did. It really. That was my favorite part of the movie. I ain't even gonna lie. My favorite part when you hear that thing roar up, I was like, wow, it's dope. So cool. Emmanuel, what's up with you? He said, thank you for the $2 bomb. He said, hey, Yost, Green Hornet, Black Beauty. Ooh.
I think there's a good chance we're going to be doing that someday. I get that request often enough that I think it would be something that there's enough people to get behind that. So we got the 1966 stuff first, right? So after the Bat Bike, we're going to put it to a vote. I get the feeling that it's going to be the 1966 Bat Cave. Might be the 1966 Bat Boat. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
But I you know, just for fun, I could put the Green Hornet Black Beauty in there for the next vote. And if that's the one, you know, I mean, just put those three in, the 1966 Bat Cave, the 1966 Bat Boat, and the Green Hornet Black Beauty for the next 1966 project after the Bat Bike is in production and being made. I can, I'll remind me, Emmanuel, to put that in the next 1966 vote sometime before coming summer.
Amazing. Amazing. So I got one question for you. So if 'cause we know you did the Iron Scavenger. So are vehicles still a thing for Jazz Inc. or are you guys kind of moving just keeping it dioramas and vehicles?
Oh, figures, you mean? Yeah, no. The mainstay for us is definitely going to be vehicles. If I look, I mean, the simple fact that there is literally not another company in the world doing these six scale vehicles,
Exactly.
then that's where I need to be, right? There's still a lot of figures that are not being made, so I can see adding to the collections of people that way. But I'm in no way interested in competing with any of the companies, and so I think vehicles are going to be the mainstay for years to come for us. And if we do figures, then that will never interfere with the vehicle work. I mean, like I said, you can think of a half a dozen figure companies, statue companies, prop companies, but no one is doing these vehicles. So there's a market for that, and I love being the only one, honestly. So that means
Absolutely.
it shows how hard it is, and yeah, I feel safe there, basically.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with you and completely can understand that because I mean, what you guys do is just by far nobody can in my opinion nobody can match. No, they really can't. I mean, the work you guys put in, the transparency of the community, taking the community into consideration. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Can't talk. But all that, you guys go above and beyond. And like I said, the customer service is just it's always been great. I've never seen a company that has the level of customer service that you guys offer. Truly. I know right now I go to sleep with that Falcon cockpit and I leave it on sometimes. Sometimes I come on in the house, it's just on and not a flickering light ever. Ever.
Cool.
So,
That is
I
cool.
just
Yeah. And I think yeah, and it's necessary. We need each other in the community. I mean, yeah, there are other companies that have shown those prototypes but I don't think there's a market for that kind of scale, like tens of thousands of units of the 2022 of that Falcon cockpit.
Sure. Yeah.
So, that's why I'm allowed to do what I do, and I take it very seriously, and like that with the customer service too. And the input is invaluable. Like I showed you the last tweaks we're doing on the ribs of the 1995. Again, community feedback. So I love that. I really love that. Though sometimes it drives me crazy.
I can imagine because I mean, hey, it is what it is. Sometimes you get people in there that are a little, and I don't think people they're being mean or meaning to be, crass. I just think that they get excited a little. I guess it's safe to say they get a little overly excited sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's safe to say. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a little overly excited.
yeah.
You're like, oh, calm down a little bit. Can't do it all.
Yeah, but it's like time will tell. It was the whole thing about who's going to do the best 2022, and now here we are. What is it? 15 months later.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay.
Yeah, I think you're fine. I think you're fine. They
Time will tell.
they showed off their one, and I mean, let's be honest, they're not going to put that level of detail that you're putting in. I don't think so.
No.
I don't see it. I don't personally. I don't see it. Emmanuel, thank you for the $5 bomb. Right before we go, he said, "Thanks all for taking my last question." And he said, "I'm fully for the Mach 5 day one."
Yeah, if you're talking about a vehicle where I'm not worried about the support, I'd say the Mach 5.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah. For sure.
Yeah, because that's going to transcend like
Yeah.
6 scale in general, and people that are big fans of that. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, guys, thank you all for being with us, for joining us today. It's been a great show. And Joost, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Just coming and supporting our channel and and telling us about here and just being a pillar in this community and really giving us these great products. I really appreciate it, and just taking the time out of your day to just to spend it here with little old me.
Of course,
I
man.
really do.
You always show the love, and I really, really appreciate that. And
Absolutely.
thanks for giving me a chance to answer the questions that are out there. I love it. It's great. Thanks.
Absolutely. And Anthony, always a pleasure having you here. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
My guy, my side guy, my rigs to my Murtaugh. You know how we
Yeah,
go.
man. Getting too old for this shit, right?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I love it. No, of course, man. It's always fun, man. Of course, it's always fun hanging out with Yost as well, man, and shooting the shit, man. Getting the progress going, man. I can't wait for this 89, man.
Yes, it's going to be amazing.
The shelf is lonely. It's got Terminator in there right now, which is great. But yeah, I can't wait.
Absolutely. Check your messages in the coming days and week. You'll see some cool stuff coming by. No problem.
Ooh, can't wait. Can't wait. Well, that is Yost from Jazzinc, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure, if you don't know, make sure you go and hit up Jazzinc for all Jazzinc Dioramas for all your diorama and vehicle needs. Guys, thank you all for being here. And I never know how to end a stream, so I'll just say it like this because I could just keep babbling on forever. But there it is. There's the link right there. Make sure you guys, for anybody, watching the stream later or anybody that's not that familiar, you just maybe one person out there. Make sure you check out Yost Jazzinc Dioramas and also the Facebook group as well. All very active in that Facebook group. We're all in there, and we, you can always see the quickest updates within that Facebook group. So make sure you guys do that. Definitely Ben Green. Thank you so much for being here, my uncle. Thank you. I know he loves your stuff. Benjamin E. Green. I just want to say this one thing. Ben, he hit me up when you announced the 89, Yost. When you announced it, he hit me up. He was like, Ben was like, hey, so you have the Hot Toys version. I was like, yes, I do. He's like, yeah. So are you getting the Yost version? I was like, I can't see me not getting it. He's like, he was like, okay, for somebody that doesn't have it, should I get? I was like, go with Jazzinc, go with Yost. So he's excited. He's excited for the 89 to say the least, and 66. So definitely. Well, guys, thank you all so much for being here. We will see you next time. And like I always say, be excellent to each other. And Anthony, do the honors.
Party on, dudes. I just watched that last night. I did. No, I watched it with Bob and a couple others, man. It was awesome.
Damn it, I should have watched it with you guys.
Yeah. He'd never seen it. I was like, what?
What?
This needs to be remedied right now. Yeah, swear to God. So, yes, man. Party on, dudes, of course. Always.
Party on, dudes. So. We'll see you.
All right.